Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters, healing tattoos, and the Chakra Life Cycle System. And today I'm so glad you're with me for this video on the 5 best foods for boosting and balancing your sacral chakra. This is part of a series, and if you haven't yet seen the videos on your root chakra and the intro to this series, you might want to go back and watch those. They're very helpful, and each one expands your understanding of the next one. Okay, so just in case you're not real clear on the sacral chakra, let's do a little primer first on the divine feminine chakra, which is the sacral. It's in your hips. Its element is water. It's related to, in food, it's related to liquids, to liquid foods, because its element is water, right? It's all about our emotions, the movement of our emotions. It's all about change, whereas the root is about stability and not having change. The second chakra is the opposite. It's all about change and variety. Relationships, especially one-on-one relationships, sensuality, feeling all of our senses, but particularly taste, because the sense of taste is the one sense that is directly related to the sacral chakra. Okay? It's also about eroticism, because this one-on-one intimacy can be non-erotic, but often it's the masculine, feminine, and I mean that energetically, even for same-sex couples, but it's the masculine, feminine, yin-yang coming together of the energy that's so beautiful when we're one-on-one, because then the two halves make a whole, and that creates a very erotic atmosphere. And since it's the taste chakra that we're working with here and the sexual chakra, I want to point out that food is often involved in erotic rituals in sexuality, right? We like food, eating fruits, strawberries, or being fed when you don't know what you're eating. These are very sensual things, okay? So are you getting an idea what the sacral is all about? It's the divine feminine, and it is delicious and beautiful. So if you want to boost that sensual energy of the divine feminine in your life, how do you do that with food? Well, let's look at my 5 favorite foods and see if maybe you can incorporate more of them into your diet. Food number 1 is probably the most quintessential and the most obvious. It's the same as the color in English. It's the orange. Think about the orange. I love everything about the orange, or even the family of oranges like tangerines. I probably think tangerines are my favorite. There's something about, they have a tiny bit of sourness to them almost, and they peel so easily. But when you peel it, you're revealing. There's an intimacy there. You're peeling away. And it's so easy to peel, usually an orange. Some are tough, but it can be easy to peel an orange. And as you do, you get the fragrance of the orange. Literally, the pores on the orange open up, and you have this aromatherapy effect, which is like so good, isn't it? And then the orange itself, if you eat it, it's still full of juice. It's just juicy. And if you juice it, it's particularly juicy. I mean, one of our most popular juices on the planet is orange juice. Maybe it is the most popular juice, because again, liquids are really big for the sacral chakra. So eating your orange, either eating it solid or juicing it, is fantastic for the sacral chakra. So more oranges, bowls of oranges all around. Okay, my second food, food number 2 that I really love for boosting the sacral chakra, is the mango. Now, I like the mango because it has a yellowish tone. It's very orange, but it also has a yellowish tone, and it's a very erotic fruit. And as I said, this is the intimacy and sensuality, sexuality chakra. So the mango is a perfect fit. But I would say it's a little bit of a sacral and solar plexus food, which means it's steamy, because the solar plexus is fire and the sacral is water. And when you put them together, what do you get? Steam. So that's why the mango is so erotic. So I love the mango, and it does have some, it adds some oomph It's got a little bit of that yellowness in it, gives it a little bit of that solar plexus energy, that passion. And because it's a tropical fruit as well, right? It brings us into the feeling of tropical climates, which are warm, which are heated, and tropical climates are sensual, right? So the mango's great for that. That's number 2. And again, you can juice it or you can use it as it is, but as you're cutting it, think of it as a very sensual ritual, whether you cut it or not. If you cut it, feel all of its juices and its soft pulp, and just be very sensual with your experience with the fruit. Food number 3 that can boost your delicious second chakra is a vegetable. What vegetable? I'll bet you know. That's right, carrots. I love the carrot, especially juiced. And of course, since this is a liquid chakra, juicing is the best way to eat your carrots, to drink them, right? You want to drink them when you really want to boost the sacral chakra. But carrots are also a root vegetable. So just as the mango brings in a little bit of fire, a little bit of solar plexus into this beautiful divine feminine sea of energy in the sacral, the carrots bring in the stability and the heft, the body of root chakra, because they are root vegetables. They literally are in the earth. They grow in the earth as a root vegetable. So when you need a little more hardiness in your sacral healing, you can go with carrot. When you need a little more eroticism, lightness, but yet passion, you can go with mango. And if you just want straight, pure, sacral, liquid healing, you can go with the orange. That's how those work. Can you feel into that? And what if you mix them all together? You get a cocktail that's super sacral, but also covers all the lower chakras. So that's a really good juice blend that I just mentioned right there. And just because carrot's a veggie, remember, it's deliciously sweet as a veggie. So don't get prejudice against carrots, okay? Don't kick carrots out of your juice just because it's not a fruit. They are really wonderful even with fruits. Okay, so let me talk to you about my 4th favorite sacral healing food, and that is pumpkin. Here where I live, here in the United States, we love our pumpkin in the fall. We've been trained to go to pumpkin. It's the go-to thing. We're going to carve our pumpkin, make pumpkin pie for Halloween, and we're going to make pumpkin soup. All of those are good, right? Just straight eating pumpkin in any way is good, but the liquid versions are the best, right? And the pie is good because it's a sweet. And the sacral chakra is all about sweets. The sacral chakra about the joy, the indulgence, and the sweetness in life. If you want to make your sweet pumpkin pie a little bit more solar plexus, add a lot of cinnamon, because cinnamon is the solar plexus spice, and so it just gives it that oomph to the sweetness. So pumpkin pie, if you're wanting to really make it a dessert, a luxury, a sweetness, and anything you can savor the way we savor desserts, that is very sacral in its energy, right? And then you have pumpkin soup, which totally, it's erotic in almost a different way. It's warmth going down your body. It's so delicious. Am I making you hungry yet? It's so wonderful, and there's no chunks usually in pumpkin soup. It's just it purees very easily. So this is a great way. And pumpkin, again, is a vegetable in the garden that has that heft to it. So you're going to get the similar type of heft that you got, that a little root chakra energy from pumpkin soup, like you got when you made your carrot juice, right? Can you feel the difference? I want you to get real subtle with these things, because as you get subtle, even as I do these videos for you, I'm putting out the energies of each chakra. And the more that you're aware of these subtleties, the more you can take them in, and the more you can express them out to others and to yourself in your own life. Okay, so those lead us up to number 5. Now, I've already given you the quintessential. I didn't leave it to the last. Okay, this is actually the one that's a little off because it is not orange, but I had to include it in the top 5. And when I talk to women, and don't say I'm being sexist, because I don't make this stuff up, guys. It doesn't come very much from men. This mostly comes from the women. When I talk to women, I ask them, what is your great indulgence? This comes up over and over again. It creates oxytocin in our body, which is the heart hormone, right? But that heart hormone is feminine, and it then affects our other feminine chakras of the third eye, and definitely the sacral, especially the sacral, because the sacral is our very embodied intimacy. It's the way we express our more sacred and intimate love, right? That even if that love's coming from the heart, when it's intimate, one-on-one, it's going to move down and very much be in the sacral. So, do you know what it is yet? I'm pretty sure you do. Women, we love it. You ready? Chocolate. And some people say, oh, but there's so much stuff in chocolate, it isn't healthy. I personally believe that if your food is really natural, and you can see me talk about that in the introductory video to this series, if your food is really natural and you're being mindful about what you eat, a little bit of everything is okay. Unless you're really, really allergic to something. And if you're allergic, those allergies might change as your chakras change. I've seen this happen with clients, so trust me on this. Be open to your allergies, of course, healing the way any other illness does, because they can, because we are now shifting our energies in our lifetime. So chocolate, guys, chocolate ladies, chocolate beautiful people is a wonderful thing, because it creates oxytocin, the love hormone. And it adds to intimacy. And it creates just a loving feeling even without another. So it allows us in the chocolate, if we're not overdoing it, right? We don't want to use it as an addiction, or do we? We don't want to use it as an addiction, but we do want to appreciate that. I've heard many women can actually take a little bit every day. That's not an addiction. They take it as part of their regimen, part of their diet. And you can, I would highly recommend dark chocolate, because dark chocolate has a higher concentration of the cocoa, right? And the cocoa is what really gives you the oxytocin boost. But some women really love the creamy and enjoy the sensuality of the creaminess and the sweetness of the milk chocolate. And sweetness, again, is a big part of the sacral chakra. So if you go all the way to the cocoa end where you're bitter, you're getting bitter chocolate, then you're not really honoring, you're honoring the oxytocin, but not the sensual experience of eating the chocolate. So find that middle ground for you in your chocolate between milk and extreme bitter and extreme milk that really works for you and gives you a sensual experience. The first honorable mention is sweet potato. Because again, sweetness is the sacral chakra. It's about the sweetness in our life. And so when we keep all of our chakras healthy, we'll have enough sweetness. We won't need it all the time. We won't be addicted just to it, and we won't be avoiding it. We'll have just the right amount of sweetness in our life. Sweet potatoes are such a nice surprise because they actually have protein, and they're so substantive. And we're looking at a root vegetable again, so we have that substance, but it's sweet. It can even be dessert-like, yams and sweet potatoes. And you can add a little cinnamon again to get some solar plexus. So it's a lower chakra food, but it's mostly sacral because of its beautiful, rich color. And if you mash it up, add some butter, which is solar plexus as well, and add a little cinnamon, which is solar plexus, and it's a root vegetable, which is root. It's going to be mostly sacral, but it's going to bring in the root, and it's going to bring in the solar plexus. So it's a very lower chakra feast to create what I just said. So that's that one. And then my other honorable mention is any other aphrodisiac that you enjoy. The key here is that you enjoy. So there's many aphrodisiacs and almost none of them are orange. So that's why I wanted to mention them. Dark chocolate. Chocolate itself is one of them. And another really popular one is oysters. Now, oysters work on another level because oysters, they come in a shell and they open, like the feminine opens, and they often have a pearl inside, which is so feminine as well. And they come from the sea, they come from the water, they come from the divine feminine. And they're liquidy in their very makeup when you eat them raw. And that's what's recommended to do. You want to eat them raw if you want them as an aphrodisiac. Now, that having been said, listen closely. If you don't like oysters, and if they give you like a gag reflex, there's no way they're going to be an aphrodisiac. So Anyone, if you're watching right now and you don't like oysters, you really don't. They just don't respond well in your body. Don't let a lover talk you into eating them as an aphrodisiac, because they are not an aphrodisiac if you're gagging on them. That it makes sense, right? They won't be. So only if it sounds good to you, and if you can appreciate them as being a gift from the sea, and they just genuinely work for you. Okay? If they do, then oysters really fit as a sacral honorable mention. Okay? Thank you so much for sharing this video with me. I love talking about foods. They are such an easy way. You're already eating, so if you need more sacral, these are an easy way to get more sacral energy. Just incorporate these foods into your diet seasonally in any way that feels right to you, and enjoy your week, and I will see you on the next video. Blessings.